All right, so what's up, everybody? So, today's gonna be a little bit interesting because I have an announcement I want to make. But before we get into that, of course, you guys know, before we actually play the games and stuff, we typically have a discussion-based thing where we talk about various things dealing with gacha games and all that. But we got a short section for that, and then I'm gonna do the announcement, and then of course we're gonna be playing the Chapter 18 reaction for today. So that's what we're gonna be doing for today. So, someone voted up in this Discord for what we're about to talk about. So if you're inside the Discord, you probably already seen like a little bit of the messages of what we may be talking about today. But I thought it would be a good topic. Now, one thing definitely I want to state before we even talk about it is as a content creator for Mihoyo, I don't condone the things that were stated, or like as far as like what the person said like you could do. In fact, I completely blurred it out, so that's not even a thing that can, harm me or any sense. So just wanted to throw that out there. We're just gonna be talking about it, and yeah, it's just for news because we talk about gacha game news, good and bad stuff here. So just want to bring it up. Anyway, without further ado, let's talk about this one. So about this was a post that was happening that happened on the Reddit for Genshin Impact, and apparently it was like deleted. I'm not sure. Someone said it was deleted or something like that. But you see I blurred at the bottom there because I don't want you guys to actually do this. Like I said, we're just talking about the facts here of what happened. So someone said, just an FYI, the PC client installs a kernel level anti-cheat in the temp directory called MHY, which I'm guessing stand for Mihoyo Pro T2 .system. That continues to run even when the game isn't running. Nor is the service removed when the game is uninstalled. Probably unintentional, but creepy nonetheless. You can stop or uninstall it by using the following commands in the elevated command prompt. So, I know you guys may be thinking, okay, what is that, right? When I read this, I was like, how big could that possibly be? I have no idea. So, how about we do a little bit of what I like to call research. All right, so I put up a little article for us to basically understand what exactly is a kernel level anti-cheat and why we should even care about it in the first place. So I'm going to look into this. It says, cheating in online video games is becoming more and more serious offense in the eyes of game developers and, of course, in the eyes of actual gamers. Gamers often spend large amounts of money to either buy the game or for in-game purchases, and when someone cheats, they have the right to feel angry and demand for things to change. Sure, many games use various anti-cheat tools, but the mere fact that cheating is a major issue in gaming indicates that these tools were not that successful on a large scale. Game developers say that we're listening to their fans, and new anti-cheat concepts were born, the kernel level anti-cheat tools. You expect the solution to make gamers happy and end cheating once and for all, but as things have unfolded, that is certainly not the case. The introduction of such software merely led to gamers' outrage and a massive number of negative reviews and comments left for games that decided to implement this technology. Some of it indeed justified, as a number of developers behind games with tech have questionable histories, and after all, your digital rights are at stake here. So, right off the bat, we can see that anti-cheat tools of the past weren't working as well as they probably should have, and so this new tool came into play, but people aren't too happy about it. We don't know why yet, so let's keep going and extend why exactly people aren't happy with it. So what is kernel level anti-cheat? The most unfamiliar word in its name is kernel. The kernel is a core of your operating system, and it runs the lowest level possible. Essentially, it's a computer program, and it has complete control over your system. When you turn on your computer, the kernel loads immediately after the bootloader. The kernel code has its own area in memory, and is protected from application programs. This means the kernel and the apps you have installed can work in parallel without interference or issues like a browser access kernel, memory, and changing how your operating system works together. If we were to divide the system privileges into 4 rings, from ring 0 to ring 3, the kernel privileges would belong to ring 0, ring 1, and 2 would be occupied by device drivers, and all other apps on your computer would belong to ring 3, being the least privileged program on your computer. So something on a kernel level is something with high privileges and something you don't want wrong on your system is fried. So yeah, it's basically just going on. It's basically telling us exactly like how does this work. Going more into it, says, well, several game developers are forcing kernel level anti-cheat drivers apart from the usual anti-cheat client, which is active while you play the game and scans what you are running on your computer. The kernel level drivers will actually load during startup and block certain drivers from loading or running on your computer. So it's actively changing what your computer is doing while it's loading. Many other programs on your computer can depend on these drivers, so it's evident that playing a video game will prevent you from using other applications. Such anti-cheat tools often target drivers and softwares that have access to your hardware, such as overclocking tools, temperature monitor fans, and of course, game cheats that also operate on the kernel level. So it has, when you install something like this, it has a lot of control over the type of applications and things that are running on your computer. It seems like too much control because it's actually like messing with your core. So going into the risk and problems, says everything sounds great in theory. Kernel level anti-cheat tools disable insecure drivers that can be exploited by cheaters. However, the biggest cause of concern is the anti-cheat itself can turn out to be vulnerable. In that scenario, you would at startup run a tool located in your kernel memory. The ring 0 on your computer and its potential vulnerability could be exploited by both cheaters or, even worse, people who might just ruin your entire operating system. If a browser or a video game is vulnerable to hackers, it's one thing, but belongs to ring 3 and the least privilege, and all damage is restricted to that ring, kernel level vulnerability calls much more. This definitely sounds like something that is a little bit iffy as far as like how it works. Just reading more into it with you guys. And I'm guessing people's responses aren't that well. Let's see what the responses are. It says, as we have mentioned, gamers were far from happy to see such anti-cheat combined with their favorite games. In many cases, they were simply forced to install them, and many gamers probably didn't even think about the potential risks they might be getting themselves into. Some even brought up the frustration with controversial DRM softwares like Sekuram and Starforce, and how kernel level anti-cheat softwares might be led down that road. So yeah, people definitely aren't happy about this type of anti-cheat program, and it definitely sounds a little bit weird how it works, how it's like basically managing your operating system in that sense. Is definitely not something a lot of people would probably be wanting to install on their own rights. But let's go ahead and talk about a little bit more of what was stated afterwards. So Moradun, Mihoyo staff. So you notice a picture there that is Star Wars character. So this is good old Kenobi from Mihoyo staff. So Kenobi had to say, thanks for bringing this to our attention. I have brought this to the devs. Hopefully we can get this issue resolved in time for launch. I will update you all ASAP. And someone else, I don't know if this is the person who officially like did it in the first place, or just a person just in the comments who wanted some more clarification on what he mean by the things he just said. So they stated, now the question is, what exactly did you bring to their attention, or what is the mistake here? Surely the issue you mean is that it runs even when the game isn't running, or it doesn't uninstall when the game is being uninstalled. Don't you think you're forgetting the most important issue, that we're dealing with a kernel level program here that is pretty dangerous and easily abused? It's like we were just seeing before that, not only is it something that can like control your computer, but it also allows it to probably potentially be hacked by other things a lot more easily, because it leaves you a lot more vulnerable. So it's just a security issue thing that people are concerned about here, and that's why people are wondering like, hey, well, why is it using this? Or if it is going to be using this, can it like at least be turned off when I uninstall the game, or when I'm not playing the game, something like that. So that's what they're talking about here. And of course, the last one right here, he said, the two main issues you mentioned, I made sure to communicate to the devs, stressing the severity of it as well. They are looking for solutions to make it so that it doesn't run unless the game client is active, and that it gets removed along with the client when deleted. So he addressed the issue and he related to the devs. Obviously, he is a staff member, but he is on a different side. He's not really on the development side of things, so he do relay things actually to the devs themselves, and he's trying to tell them about the severities of this. So hopefully, maybe there will probably be a follow-up to this. I don't know if anyone else will probably do any digging once the official release happened, maybe that would be something that would be fixed. But I just thought it would be something interesting to talk about because it was a topic that I didn't even see brought up, and thought it was very interesting. I never heard of a kernel program, and just the fact that it was using that. Like I said, I don't think maybe the program itself isn't that bad. I mean, it just want anti-cheat stuff. Totally understandable who wants cheating inside of their games. So, in any program that's good for them to use, I think it's fine. But I think the main issue that people were probably concerned about here is that the fact that, once again, if we go back to the original post, it runs even when the game isn't running, nor when the service is removed when the game is uninstalled. If the game is not there, why is the program still there? I think that's probably the biggest issue. I think people don't have a problem if it's there like in the first place, but if it's staying there, that's a little bit weird. But like I said, I blurred out the instructions that they give because I'm not condoning the practice of using this, of that sense of trying to uninstall what they have, what they intended. In fact, this post was even, like I stated, probably deleted. I think someone deleted it from the Reddit thread. So obviously that isn't condoned when tampering with the file. So that's why I blurred that out to protect me and, of course, the Mihoyo staff and, of course, the integrity of the game. But like I said, I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention because we do discuss gacha game news here, and of course on my channel over here we do a lot of Mihoyo games, so Genshin Impact, Honkai Impact, and this was just some interesting tidbits that just happened to come up recently. So I wanted to definitely discuss that with you guys. But what do you guys think about it? How you guys feeling today? They want all your data. I mean, I guess people are especially a little bit scared too, especially I don't know if it's just in America, but people got like these theories and stuff about TikTok and all that. But I mean, this is just Mihoyo's game. I mean, Mihoyo's been around for a minute, so I trust them. But people do just have their worries when it comes to programs and stuff, especially when it's things that they aren't aware of, and especially when it's things running and controlling things that they had no idea that was controlling certain things. People just want to know what's happening all the time. Are you getting you saying the 30 series? I don't know if I'm getting a 30 series. I don't know. How much are the 30 series? They seems like some pretty good prices.